Over the past decade, the industrial landscape has shifted like never before. Everybody's talking about AI, automation, robotization, incredible new digital tools, and also how you're supposed to jump on these trends as fast as possible so you don't lose your effectiveness or your edge in this incredibly complex and competitive market. It's overwhelming to say the least. Moreover, it's really not just the technology that's changing. People both on the shop floor and in management and supervisor roles have all adjusted their priorities and needs. What used to matter in the manufacturing and frontline working environment, and what used to cut it in terms of support for the frontline workforce, just doesn't cut it anymore. It's really a completely different world right now. However, it's not all bad news. It might seem really complex and it might feel like there's a ton to get your head around, but it's actually not that complicated. Join us as we explore insights from industry experts and as we take a closer look at some of the most important trends impacting the frontline workforce right now. We've broken them into 3 major categories and we're going to explore them in this video. Let's dive straight in. The first thing that we need to talk about are some of the fundamental technological changes impacting this workforce. This might seem kind of obvious, and you've probably read about a lot of these in the news already, but it's important to realize that these changes form the basis of a lot of what the frontline is going through at the moment in a changing industry. As connected mobile devices and cloud infrastructure becomes more widespread, organizations are moving away from on-premise technology and manual processes for frontline tasks. The shift has led to improved data capture capabilities, making it easier to measure activity and productivity on the factory floor. It's also led to an increased importance for acquiring necessary skills in the digital realm. Nearly 92% of jobs now require some form of digital skills. And of course, understanding and managing AI is one of them. Embedding AI in your tools can help with the precise quality controls, reduction of errors, and it can also provide valuable insights to support decision-making on the factory floor. For instance, AI algorithms can optimize production schedules based on factors like demand forecasts, resources availability, and equipment efficiency. And this leads to improved throughput and resource utilization. But also, it can significantly streamline the hiring process. As of 2024, AI is expected to play a major role in frontline work recruitment and onboarding, offering automation, bias reduction, and insightful analytics for the process. Embracing these technologies enables organizations to enhance recruitment strategies and draw in top talent. And this means more diverse, high-performing frontline teams. And this leads us to our second factor, the changing frontline. Modern-day frontline employees are expressing a need for increased transparency, a better work-life balance, more flexibility, stable and predictable career growth, autonomy, and access to problem-solving resources in their jobs. This signals a need for a pivotal shift in frontline workforce technology to support them in these goals. In an industry that reaches almost 40% churn rate, even a small increase in retention can have a significant positive impact on overall profitability and productivity. Key reason for employee turnover at the front line is often the unmet needs of the people working there. We often see a huge disconnect between management and the frontline teams that they manage and supervise. 65% of frontline leaders believe that they have effective communication strategies, but actually only 35% of frontline workers say that they feel heard. And 89% of these frontline workers indicate that they would stay with their companies if leaders would only listen more to their feedback. These factors, combined with real and meaningful opportunities for growth within the company, mean happy employees all around. Now, what do we actually do with all of this information? This brings us to our third trend, how we adapt. We must respond to this different landscape in a new way. Our reaction to the changing nature of frontline and manufacturing work has to keep pace with this incredibly dynamic industry. So what does this response actually look like? Well, we're going to outline a few ways. First and foremost, it's about adopting a new work culture, one that promotes continuous learning and improvement and adaptability to change. Adapting to change is a crucial need in frontline work overall, as it empowers workers to thrive in an ever-changing and fluctuating business landscape. So as new trends and technologies become available, people can adapt. By embracing flexibility and agility, frontline workers can successfully navigate the challenges and seize opportunities as they come to them in their work environment. But flexibility hinges on transparency and open communication between management and the frontline. You need to make sure that your team actually feels heard and understood. Take their feedback into consideration and encourage them to communicate openly with one another and with their managers and supervisors. All of these changes can be incredibly overwhelming, so you need to make sure to implement new strategies at a manageable pace and create an airtight implementation roadmap. Using mobile-first tools can offer far more possibilities than static tools like employee intranets or paper and PDF standards. These are things that companies often use, and they have a hard time changing with the needs of the people who actually use them. You need to show them how easy it is to download and use apps that actually increase communication and open feedback loops. This is a way to lower the barriers for adoption and usage and ensure full engagement. But the most important thing is that you actually talk to and listen to your frontline workforce. These new tools can help people react and adapt and thrive in a changing environment, but the most important element is opening a personal feedback loop and understanding their needs on a human level. Next, we're going to talk about frontline skills. More than ever, employers need to focus on frontline skills. Often we see that companies are transitioning into skills-based organizations and adopting skills and competency-based learning and training programs. These are ways of working and learning that focus on the actual skills that an employee needs to have in order to perform their daily work. And they move away from focusing on more abstract things like job titles. It's a great way for people to move up through an organization and increase their abilities by proving what they can actually do. In this way, organizations can attract a more diverse talent pool. They can align the real capabilities of a candidate with job requirements, and they can also cultivate a workforce that's adaptable and continuously learning. But more importantly, they can continue to grow and develop with the people who are working with them on the factory floor. Learning and employee training. Did you know that 21% of frontline workers and 23% of managers and supervisors say that learning and development is a top motivator at work? Research done by McKinsey found that having an aligned skill set, clear learning opportunities, and real chances for job growth are some of the biggest factors that employees find important in their work. We see that the surge in upskilling is an emerging trend that employers need to pay attention to. So how do you tackle that? One of the most effective things we've seen customers do is implement on-the-job training methods. These are resources that allow learners to actually use a job aid to follow along with training while performing the task that they're learning how to do. Not only does this improve retention rates and allow them to absorb the information and use it in a practical and realistic setting, but it also dramatically reduces their time to effectiveness and gets especially seasonal and temporary workers up to speed and working as effectively as possible in weeks instead of months. Last but not least, your frontline needs to feel safe. Physical safety has always been a top priority for manufacturers. However, today's concept of workforce safety extends a bit beyond that. Things like flexible working hours, better pay, and increased access to healthcare benefits for their families are just a couple examples of how manufacturers and frontline employers are increasing mental health across their workforce. More than ever, it's essential to recognize that your team's needs are the needs of a human workforce. And you need to take steps towards providing a well-rounded safety net and a positive working environment for them. We hope this sheds some light on what we think are some of the most urgent and important trends in modern frontline work. Thanks so much for watching this video until the end. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up and make sure to follow our YouTube channel, our LinkedIn, and our blog for more content about the industrial frontline. Can't wait to see you for our next video.